speaking of Yamaha, I mean, look, man, I was rooting for. This was a good race weekend. I'm not gonna lie. There's something about seeing six Ducatis in 1 through 6. I gotta throw that out there. But at the same time, it was. It's a pretty good weekend, and when Rins was out there for a little bit out front, man, I'm like, he might be able to get away. It was like 17, like 7 laps left, 8 laps left, and he was still competitive on that Yamaha. What are your thoughts on Rins? That flash? Is it just one of those things, or is he starting to come back into his own? I mean, he's not limping as much either, too. What are your thoughts, TJ, on what Yamaha is doing and how they were, and being in front of Quattuara too, because that's the first.
I mean, I think I think Riz is just trying to still show that he got it, but I don't think he got it anymore. I
Oh,
mean, he's still
come on,
he's
come on.
still a good rider. He's still a good rider. I mean, I know he's hurt. He has the broken leg. He's trying to recover from for a little bit, but he's always been the back, like the back, like the end, So like, not
He's
even getting any points, not even getting any points. So like, it was shocking to see him in front of Quarterano and being in the front. And
okay.
he did it for like, I mean, he did it for like 2 laps maybe, and then whatever tire choice he had, I don't know if he ran the soft rear, but yeah, he just slipped down from first to 10th, like in another 2 laps, so 2 or 3 laps. So like it was kind of weird, but it was cool to see. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's just still trying to show that he has it and don't give up on me, kind of
Right.
kind of thing. But I don't know what else he can prove. Like if he has a good package, where you see him back in the top 10, I don't know.
Right, right. Yeah, I agree. I don't know that either. What are your thoughts, Reese, on Yamaha? What Rins did? I think he had the soft tires, pretty competitive. Nice to mix it up with the KTM. What are your thoughts?
Where the hell did he come from? That was my question. I'm just keeping honest. I was like, where the hell did you come from? That's where was that all year long and everything else. But like TJ said, I mean, it's almost like he's just trying to prove a point that he still got it, which I don't think he still got it. I think he's one of the guys that is like it's time to look in the mirror for him and say, hey, I don't have it anymore. This injury took it out of me. Can I still do this at this high of a level? And is it time for me to move on to greener pastures, World Superbike, or something else, or anything like that? But it's just, I mean, that was great to see him up there finally. I mean, that was something different. But I mean, just it's almost like the same thing as Pekka, what Pekka did the last race. I mean, it's once in a blue moon that you do it. I mean, you can't just say I'm gonna do it one time here and 20 more times not. I mean, you've been back there for the whole season fighting with guys in 15th place and the last place, and you've been like the worst Yamaha rider all season. So, me, I'm like, great, you did it. It was good to see you up there, but you know, is it a little too late? So,
A little too late. What are your thoughts, Lewis, on Rins, Yamaha? Did they switch bikes? Because we saw Pecco tried Morbidelli's bike in a test, and so forth. Do you think, like TJ is saying, or Smitty has said, these guys need to be out of MotoGP if they keep finishing in 15th,
Hey, look,
or it's just giving him time to sort out the bike. And
I don't
also,
want
obviously, the Yamaha is not the best bike.
I don't want to hear nobody disrespecting Sideshow Bob. All right, the Sideshow Bob of MotoGP. You better put some respect on his name. All right.
I agree. My daughter's a big fan of Rins.
I'm a big fan of Rins. I've always loved his riding style. He's got that smooth, silky smooth riding style, like that, just fast corner speed, almost like Jorge Lorenzo ish riding
Hmm.
style.
Yeah.
And he's very upright. Like whereas other guys are leaning and dragging elbows, if you look at him, he's a little bit more conventional in his upper body riding style. But I do think that whatever this injury is that's been nagging him, this leg injury, I think it's taken a lot longer for him to heal, and it might just be that, you know what, man, I don't bounce as much as easily as I did when I was a kid. You know, he's not a kid anymore. He's a little bit older. He's a married man. He's got kids. And it's just taking him a little bit longer to heal. And I'm hoping, praying that he continues to heal and he can come back and be as competitive as he can be for the package he's on.
Right.
Because on
And
another package, I think he'd be even more competitive. I don't think that the guy has lost any skill. I don't think he's lost anything. I think he's just been injured and he's not on a great package and he just has to work around what he's got, you know. Don't go out there killing yourself. Don't do a Mark Marquez if the bike's not underneath you to do anything worth doing.
right. No, I agree there. I think that Rins is, again, in Moto 2, he was killing these guys.
Yep.
On the Suzuki, he was nice. I mean, I know Mir won, but he was nice.
He was nice, man. Silky. I mean, I still think back to the one race in Silverstone
with Mark.
where he overtook Mark on the very last corner. I mean, he shot that Suzuki out of that corner like it was shot out of a cannon, man.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's impressive. I like that. That was definitely the day that I was like, wow, man, this dude's got. I always knew he had skill back from the Moto 2 days and his time in MotoGP, but you know, I just hope that he can get over whatever injuries he has. I hope whatever package Yamaha rolls out next year is even 5% better than this year, so they get out of that, you know, cellar that they're in right now. Because the only manufacturer worse than them right now is KTM in my eyes. And that's not good company to have. You know, the only company that's worse than you is one that's almost out of business. That's not where you want to be.
No, at all, at all. Which is, and it's not good for, you know, you got Top Rock coming in and stuff like that. So you definitely want to, you know, obviously, you know, we know all the manufacturers are doing everything to get better, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and say not doing it, but it's tough when they struggle, and it's tough for riders to keep the confidence. Anything you guys want to touch on before we can talk about Miller? But anything you want to touch on before we talk about a little bit about Moto 2 and what's going on there?
No, I think that's it for GP.
All right,
I think that's it.
It was great to watch races though, right? I mean, it was good racing, you know, good passing. Aldeguer was on fire. Aldeguer winning, and you know, Peugeot hasn't done it, and you know, as a rookie, Aldeguer did it, and that's huge. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, I'm glad we didn't brush off it. You know, the second youngest rider to do it. Does this kind of like make you? I mean, I guess it's more rhetorical for me. I don't know if I overlook all the shenanigans he's done in Moto 2 and when he first got to MotoGP and stuff like that. But what do you guys' thoughts on Aldeguer winning the GP race? I mean, you got to show up, you got to finish, but obviously it might have been different if Bez was up, kept it up on two wheels. But you know, for him to fight against Acosta, who was hungry, Raul was hungry, Rins, everybody was hungry, because once they saw Marquez and Bez go down, you know, everybody was trying to get in the club door first.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is good to see this guy finally get on top, get a podium. And I can just think of back when we talked with Eli on the show. He was rooting for Aldeguer to finally get a podium, and he finally got it. You know.
Eli already texted me.
But you know, he was so close to beating, you know, or getting past Mark Marquez's record for being the youngest rookie in the sprint, I think it was, or
Yeah,
I don't know if he did pass it. But yeah, so I salute him, I congratulate him. It does now show why Ducati chose him so early. Um, he's very smart, just found his way. He didn't really kind of like jump into it and try to just throw it out the window at first. It took him a little while to get it under his belt, and he's been a little more consistent as of late. But this was well deserving, and what better chance when you know these guys go down? It's like you gotta fulfill your opportunity when it presents itself, and to show the pace he had in the sprint. I mean, I knew in the GP it was gonna be another fight with him, so it was just fortunate for him that he didn't have Bezzecchi and Mark behind him, but
Right, right.
it's it was good to see him pull it out.
Right, right. What are your thoughts, Reese, on what Acosta did? Aldeguer did. I mean, and in magnificent fashion too. Over 5 seconds.
Oh,
He
he
seems
killed it.
like he's like, as we were talking off air, like Bobby Fong. Is bend it or go home. Right. He's full gas, and he doesn't have a take it easy button. You kind of see that on Saturday, on Sunday, and you see it when he crashes out.
I mean, yeah, you do see it. I mean, like I remember back in a couple shows ago, I remember Lewis said it. Once this kid figures out how to go as fast on brand new tires when they are used, he's going to be dangerous. And what he just showed in this race was what he is capable of doing. And it shows the level of talent that is in MotoGP, but it also shows the level of respect or who's in front of Bezecchi and Marquez, because it was almost like sharks in the water. Like the chum went in the water, and soon them two went out. It was like the dinner bell went off. Hey, we can finish for first, and everybody went full gas. So to know that this kid can actually win and do what he did when Marquez isn't there, it shows that he's ready to step up and come up the level, later on and give him a little more time, and he's going to be there. Like I
Yeah.
said, he can be a dangerous person once he figures out the new tires and do the same thing on worn down tires.
Yeah, no, I agree. Lewis, man, I'll before you talk about Furman, it seems like Acosta was listening to us because he kept that train pretty slow. I don't know how he did it, but he kept that train pretty slow to keep all those guys in the mix. But touch on that a little bit on Acosta's ability to do that, but also what Furman has done as the youngest guy, because I mean he already had the factory contract. He had the factory contract before he rode a GP bike. He kind of cruised in the his second year in Moto 2. I didn't think it was a good look for the team he was on, but obviously Ducati knew what they were doing, and it seems like they got it figured out.
I mean, there's a couple of different questions, and to recap on that. So, I mean, Acosta, we know that the KTM in a straight line is the fastest bike. So if you could slow everybody in the corners and then get on the gas, it's going to be real hard to pass because you got the fastest bike. They got to get a drive out of the corner. If you're screwing up everybody's drive, like somebody else, is hard to pass a bike that's got a lot of grunt when you can't get any head of steam underneath you to actually pass them. So Costa was riding a smart race, but we saw what happens when a guy that doesn't have pace gets passed by a guy that does have pace. It quickly becomes very, very visually stunning how much pace that person didn't have. And what they were doing was they were trying to ride an intelligent ride to ride around the problems they were having on the bike. But again, once Furman got out front, I mean, a 5-second lead in MotoGP is a 5-second lead, especially for your first race win. Because you got to think about it. When you got 8 laps left and you're in the lead, you're thinking about just hitting your apex, hitting your corners, hitting your markers, this and that. When you're down to 3 laps left, you start thinking, oh shit, I might win. And that's where you start making these mental mistakes. In those last 2 laps, that's when mental mistakes come in, especially when you got a lead like that. And he was able to manage it. He gave up a little bit of the lead in the last lap or two just because he knew he had it in his pocket. So he was pushing like 95% instead of 100%. And he was able to bring it home, man. And I've been saying for a while now that this kid was the truth. And he finally, proved me right. He was able to put the beginning of the race together with the end of the race and race a complete race and benefit from the
Seemed like
tires when they're fresh, when the tires when they were worn. And one last thing, I mean, here's another Spaniard, man. And this Spaniard is in the MM93 Academy. He's part of the Marc Marquez bros.
Yeah.
and the Marc Marquez bros seem to be kind of touching a lot of guys in different classes that are from Spain that are kind of like getting underneath the Marc Marquez umbrella. and learning from the Marquez brothers. And if you look at, other winners that won this weekend, these are, again, guys from Spain that are very close to the Marquez brothers. So without having an official Marc Marquez Academy, it almost feels like Marc Marquez is starting to put together a little Spanish mafia of his own to go up against the Italian mafia.
Mafia.
I agree. I agree. For sure.